Picture this. It's a Tuesday afternoon and you're sitting at your desk, staring at an email from your boss. "Congratulations on the promotion," it says. Your heart skips a beat. Finally, that bump in salary you've been grinding for. You can already feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. No more scraping by at the end of the month, right? You'll treat yourself to that nicer apartment, maybe upgrade the car, and suddenly, life feels a little less suffocating. But fast forward 6 months, and here you are again, checking your bank account, wondering why the stress hasn't budged. The rent's higher now, the groceries feel like they're sneaking up in price, and that extra coffee habit, it's become a daily ritual. Why does it still feel like you're running on a treadmill that's speeding up? I've been there myself, and if you're watching this, chances are you have too. That quiet frustration when a raise comes through, but the relief is short-lived. Today, I want to talk about why promotions don't actually solve financial stress the way we think they should. It's not about you messing up. It's about the structural difference between chasing income growth and actually building wealth. And trust me, once you see it, it changes how you look at everything. Let me back up a bit. Most of us grow up hearing that the key to a better life is just earning more. Get the degree, climb the ladder, and poof, problem solved. It's baked into every career advice column, every family dinner conversation. Work hard, get promoted, and you'll be set. But here's where it gets tricky. We misunderstand what financial stress really is. It's not just about not having enough cash coming in. It's about the gap between what flows in and what flows out, and more importantly, what sticks around. A promotion boosts your income, sure, but it doesn't automatically plug the leaks in your financial boat. In fact, it often creates new ones. Think about how we react to more money. It's human nature. Psychologists call it lifestyle inflation, or what I like to think of as the upgrade trap. You earn 20% more, so you start eyeing that bigger place because, hey, you deserve it after all that overtime. Or the family vacations get a little fancier, the subscriptions pile up. Before you know it, your expenses have crept up to match or even exceed that new paycheck. I've seen it with friends. One guy I know got a big title bump at his tech job, went from scraping by to what felt like abundance overnight. But within a year, he was back to complaining about being broke. Why? Because the promotion didn't change his habits, it just amplified them. And it's not just personal choices. There are structural forces at play here that make it feel like the system's rigged against you. Taxes, for one. In many places, jumping income brackets means a bigger chunk goes straight to the government. That 10% raise might only net you 7% after Uncle Sam takes his share. Then there's inflation, quietly eroding what your money can buy. Groceries, gas, rent, they don't stay put just because your salary ticked up. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. More water in doesn't help if it's leaking faster. But the real misunderstanding? We confuse income with wealth. Income is like a river. It's the flow of money coming in each month from your job. Wealth, on the other hand, is the lake that river feeds into, the assets you build that generate their own flow over time. Promotions pump up the river, but if you're not directing some of that water into the lake, you're always at the mercy of the current. Dry spell at work, the river slows, and you're stressed again. That's why so many high earners still live paycheck to paycheck. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and grow. Let me paint a picture with a simple example. Say you're earning $50,000 a year and life feels tight. Rent's $1,200 a month, food and bills eat up another $2,000, and there's not much left for surprises like a car repair. You push for that promotion, land it, and now you're at $65,000. Feels great at first, but then you think, I can afford a better neighborhood, so rent jumps to $1,500. You start eating out more because work's busier, adding $300 to your monthly spend. Maybe you buy nicer clothes to fit the new role, another $200. Suddenly, your outflow is up by $800, and that $1,250 extra from the raise, after taxes, is mostly spoken for. The stress? It's still there, lurking, because nothing's building up for the long haul. Now, layer in the psychology of it all. Our brains are wired for immediate rewards, dopamine hits from that new gadget or weekend away. It's called present bias. We overvalue now and undervalue later. Promotions feed right into that. You feel accomplished, so you reward yourself, and it snowballs. I remember my own wake-up call years ago. I got a decent bump in pay after switching jobs, and I blew a chunk on a fancy watch I'd been eyeing. It felt good for a week, then it was just another thing on my wrist, while my savings account stayed flat. Meanwhile, friends who didn't chase flashy upgrades were quietly stashing away, letting compound interest do its quiet magic. Speaking of compound interest, it's one of those concepts that sounds boring until you see it in action. Imagine two people. Alex gets promotions every few years, income soaring from $60K to $120K over a decade, but spends most of it keeping up with a growing lifestyle, bigger house, nicer car, more trips. Then there's Jordan, who starts at $60K, gets modest raises, but socks away 15% into investments that grow at, say, 7% a year on average. Then fast forward 10 years. Alex might have a flashier life, but Jordan's got a nest egg that's doubled itself through compounding. It's not magic, it's math. If you invest $500 a month at 7%, after 10 years, you've put in $60,000, but it could grow to around $85,000. That's the lake filling up while the river keeps flowing. But it's not just numbers. It's emotional. Financial stress often stems from feeling trapped, like you're always one bad month away from disaster. Promotions give a temporary high, but they don't build the buffer that brings real peace. Think about family pressures. Maybe you're supporting aging parents or helping kids with school. More income helps cover the bills, but without wealth-building habits, you're still vulnerable. Or work stress. Climbing the ladder often means longer hours, more responsibility, which can amp up anxiety even as your bank balance grows. I've talked to people in high-powered jobs who earn six figures but feel more stressed than ever because their lifestyle demands it all. And here's where society plays a role too. We're bombarded with messages that success looks like consumption, big homes, luxury brands. It's subtle, but it shapes our beliefs. Why do we assume a promotion fixes everything? Because it's the visible win, the one we can brag about. Wealth building? That's quieter, slower, less sexy. But it's the difference between renting your time forever and buying back your freedom. Okay, so if promotions aren't the silver bullet, what's the shift that actually matters? It's realizing that true financial ease comes from decoupling your security from your next paycheck. It's about seeing income as a tool, not the goal. Instead of letting more money dictate bigger spending, you flip it. Use the extra to build assets that work for you. That's the turning point, when you stop chasing the river's speed and start deepening the lake. This mindset changes everything. Suddenly, decisions aren't just about affording more, it's about what gives you real freedom. Do you take that promotion if it means uprooting your family and adding commute stress? Or do you negotiate for better work-life balance instead? It connects money to your psychology, less about status and more about peace of mind. Imagine not panicking over a layoff rumor because you've got 6 months' expenses tucked away, earning interest. Or feeling the weight lift when you realize time with loved ones matters more than the latest upgrade. It's not about denying yourself joy, it's about choosing joys that last. Shifting to building wealth combats that constant not enough feeling. Behavioral economists talk about hedonic adaptation. We get used to nicer things quickly, so the happiness boost fades. But building wealth, it creates a snowball of security that grows over time, reducing anxiety at its root. You're not just surviving, you're setting up a system where money supports your life, not the other way around. So how do you make this real without overhauling everything overnight? Start small, where it feels doable. When that promotion hits, before adjusting your lifestyle, pause and redirect a portion of the raise straight into savings or investments. It's like paying yourself first, building that lake drop by drop. Track your spending for a month, not to judge, but to see where the leaks are. Maybe it's those impulse buys during stressful weeks. Swap one for a walk or a call with a friend instead. Use simple tools to visualize the difference. Apps that show compound growth can make it tangible. Plug in numbers and watch how consistent saving adds up. If you're dealing with family pressures, have open talks about boundaries. It's okay to help without draining yourself. And remember, it's not about perfection. If you slip and splurge sometimes, that's human. The key is consistency over time, letting habits compound like interest. Building an emergency fund gradually to aim for 3 months' expenses eventually, but start with whatever you can. It acts like a psychological safety net, easing that knot in your stomach. And when it comes to investing, keep it basic. Low-cost index funds that track the market. Nothing fancy. The point isn't to get rich quick, it's to let time do the work, turning income into lasting security. I've found that reframing promotions as opportunities rather than fixes helps too. Celebrate the win, sure, maybe a nice dinner out, but then channel the energy into what builds long-term calm. It's realistic. No one expects you to live like a monk, just mindful choices that align with what you truly value, like more time off or less worry about bills. As we wrap this up, I want you to take a breath and reflect. You're not alone in feeling like promotions should do more. They're sold to us that way. But understanding the gap between income growth and wealth building, that's empowering. It means your financial stress isn't a personal failure. It's often a structural mismatch we've all been navigating. You don't need to hustle harder or earn exponentially more to find peace. Small, intentional shifts, redirecting a bit of that flow into something lasting, can change the trajectory. Progress isn't about overnight transformations. It's about feeling a little steadier each month, a little freer. You've got this, one thoughtful step at a time. If this resonated, drop a comment below. What's one promotion story that stuck with you? Thanks for spending this time with me. Take care.